guys, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am back with my first project using my August Kill Kit with Style. And so I'm kind of just flipping through showing you some of the things that I have pulled out of my kit. So in traditional Khristina style, I have pulled a ton of things into my August kit. And so the way that I kind of approach my projects is to pull out a small section. So pull out just a few products and work with those. And the reason I do that is because I am somebody who gets very overwhelmed if I have a million choices. So what I do instead is grab just a few things and then work with those and pull in extras as I need to. So for this particular layout, I'm working in my traveler's notebook, which I haven't been doing very much lately. And so I'm using this green paper with the trees as my background. And so rather than working directly in my traveler's notebook, I'm going to work just on those 2 sheets of paper and then glue them into my notebook at the very end. And that is kind of my favorite way to work in a traveler's notebook. So I have my photo, which is a 3x4 photo that is backed with a really thin border of white cardstock. And in that particular photo is my youngest son and my husband. And so he is sitting up on his shoulders and we are out at Boy Scout camp. And so what I want to do is just create kind of some emphasis on this photo by creating a bunch of layers of photo matting behind that photo. So I'm just using a bunch of the 6x6 papers that I had pulled into this kit. So some of them are from Creekside and some of them are not. Some of them are just random 6x6 papers that kind of matched everything. And I am going to take this kind of burnt reddish color one and cut it into a banner that's going to go the full length of that photo. And I'm leaving it a little bit longer on the bottom because I know that I want to do some stamping. And I don't want my photo and my card that's going to go over there on the left to be at the same height. So I'm kind of putting them on just a slight diagonal. And that's going to go with the rest of the design of this layout. And so I'm going to cut this little red paper here to kind of mimic the detail from the left page and the right page. And then I'm going to take this paper that has all of these slices of tree-like trunk, and I'm going to fussy cut a whole bunch of them. And I'm not going to make you sit through watching me fussy cut all these little pieces of tree, but I do fussy cut quite a few. And then I'm going to also arrange them on the same kind of slight diagonal. So they're going to go from the top left corner over to the top right corner of my photo. So it's going to create just a very slight diagonal, and it's going to be a little bit top heavy. And so we'll come back and talk at the end about how I dealt with making this layout a little bit top heavy. Because I really like having these slices of wood just lined up across the top. And they carry that slight diagonal pattern with them, which I really liked for this particular layout. So I am going to keep this one pretty simple. I have that little piece of ephemera with the paw print on it that's going to go up in the top corner of my photo. And then I want to pull in some stamping because the Rediscover Your Stash focus for August is on stamping. And so I'm going to grab this little one that says Gone Camping, and I'm going to stamp it in some kind of burnt reddish ink, and that is from Altenew, and I'm just going to put it right over the top of that banner. So it's going to say Gone Camping and Adventure at this point. The full title is going to end up being Adventure Camp, and you'll see that here in a second. So I'm just making sure that I'm happy with where I have everything kind of lined up here. And I have those sequins off to the side, and I know that I'm going to be bringing them in. And so what I wanted to do today is I'm going to kind of show you part 1 of a really simple way to use sequins, especially in a traveler's notebook. And then I'm going to come back next week and show you the same type of idea on a 12x12 layout with an added dimension of some stitching. So I'm keeping it very simple in the traveler's notebook this week, and then I'm stepping it up a notch in my video for you next week. So do make sure that you come back next Wednesday to check out how I use this kind of same sequin idea, but kind of bumped up a notch. So I've got all my little wooden pieces here. I've got the top part of my layout where I'm really happy with it. But now I'm realizing, and I know in my head, that this is a very top-heavy layout, and I don't want it to stay that way. So I am going to go ahead and take some black ink and add a phrase down here to that banner like I had planned from the beginning, and it just says, Find Your Wild. And then I know that I want to use some of these stickers in the green color, and so I'm going to play around here for a minute trying to decide how I want them to line up. And I really wanted them to go on the diagonal, but they were just too big compared to the 3x4 card. So it didn't end up working out. So I just lined them up along the bottom, and I'm okay with that. I think it looks cute. It kind of ties everything together, so it works. And then I'm going to grab just a couple of little star stickers and kind of mix those in with those slices of tree up at the top. And then I am grabbing some older SpiegelMom Scraps cork shapes. So back when SpiegelMom Scraps sold cork shapes, they had these little trees, and they came with 2 different sizes. And so I bet that there are a bunch of you that have some of these in your stash because they were absolutely adorable. So definitely kind of do a stash dive here. See if you can find some of these old cork pieces. Because they work really well when you're talking about outdoors and adventure kind of layouts. And they're really thin cork. So that's going to make it very easy to put them in a traveler's notebook. So where you want to avoid things maybe like flare or wood veneer, cork is a really good option that's a little bit thinner. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab those sequins, and I am using Blues Traveler, but the same look would also work with the new one, hashtag Boys Mom Life, for, Boys Mom Life. And all I'm doing is creating 2 little areas that have a vertical column of 5 sequins. One is going to be up in that top left, and then one is down towards the bottom right of the photo, and that just really gives me a spot where it makes the eye travel right through my photo and gives me that additional detail that I was looking for, and it keeps that diagonal pattern the same as the rest of the elements on my layout. So that is one way to use these sequins in a line. I'm going to come back next week and show you a little bit more about how to do this with an extra little pop of some stitching. And that's it for me for today. So I will be back to see you soon. Bye!